we got to this point where, hard work, dedication, family legacy. My dad was a former boxer. My brother is Jaron Ennis and Farada Storm. They was former boxers, and they created this champion from the hood, from Germantown.
You're about to witness Philadelphia's own pound-for-pound star, Jaron "Boots" Ennis. Everything's set for him.
Boots Ennis is the class right now of the 147-pound division.
I think he's an unreal talent.
I love his style of fighting. I think he's explosive.
And the best at the welterweight division and in the world.
This is the Boots that everyone in boxing has their eye on, man. He just doesn't let you hide. Everything comes in slow motion for him.
It's very special to be collecting 2 belts, the WBA and Ring Magazine. And I think the last person that held the lineal title with Ring Magazine belt was Floyd, Bud, I think Sugar Ray Leonard, and to have my name up there with those guys, I feel like that stamped my name, in the welterweight division. Once I grab these belts, I'm just going to throw them around my dad, because my dad been around this game for a very long time, and I feel like he deserves his flowers.
But boxing isn't known for making things easy. Standing in his path is Sebastian, the towering Inferno Fundora, the reigning unified super welterweight champion.
Sebastian Fundora, he's a fighting champion.
His skill set is sensational right now.
He is the best 154-pounder in the world today.
He is 6'6", a storm in gloves.
I know this is entertainment, but when we go inside the ring and punch each other in the face and break each other's faces, isn't that enough entertainment?
With speculation around a potential showdown reaching another level, Jaron "Boots" Ennis and Sebastian Fundora are both pushing themselves harder in training. Each fighter appears focused on the same objective, entering the ring fully prepared and proving that he has what it takes to overcome whoever stands across from him. If this matchup comes together, neither man wants to leave anything to chance.
And I feel like I can't leave without fighting for a world title. Even though I'm the IBF champ, I never fought for the world title. It was given to me. I feel like I just had to overcome a lot of things and just be patient, just be patient and my time will come, and my time is here, and I'm going to, make all of it. I mean, when you Jaron "Boots" Ennis, they criticize everything I do. It don't matter. It don't matter what I do. I can go the distance and beat a guy 12-0. Oh, he should have knocked him out. When I knock somebody out, we don't know if he got a chin. They say I get hit too much. I get hit a couple of times. Like, it's with me, it don't matter. I feel like they always gonna find something to pick at, and at the end of the day, I do this for me, and I know I'm the best in the world, and I'm just gonna continue to keep.
As both fighters continue developing, they are also answering their doubters with their performances. Bootsy Ennis has praised the complete package Boots brings whenever he competes. From the jab and footwork to his movement, timing, and ability to combine different techniques, Ennis has shown that he can attack an opponent in several different ways. That versatility is a major reason so many people believe he can control a fight at the highest level.
One of the top fighters. I think he's one of the best in that weight. That's what I think. I'm not going to lie to you. I think he's better than the rest of them. That's when you're going to see Boots go to, he might have to go to another level. They ain't see that high level yet.
Boom, pop. Yeah. Soon as I stop him, I'm going to throw that real quick. Shit.
I think Boots got in the habit of, knocking everybody out. Then you forget, what got you there. That jab, use that jab, and boxing move, he was doing it though, but he wasn't doing like he normally do. You seen some of his fights and you know what I'm talking about. He got so, I think hung up on knocking, guys out. And then he found out you can't punch. He don't care about you touching.
Ennis also carries enormous confidence in his own position within the division. He believes he has established himself as one of the biggest names at 154 pounds and says anyone looking for the biggest opportunities has to be willing to go through him. When he looks at Fundora, Boots sees a naturally tall fighter who prefers to apply pressure and uses physical advantages to make opponents uncomfortable.
To take over for you at 154. Ultimately, you and Fundora have to cross paths.
I feel like everybody gotta come to me regardless through this weight division. Like I said before, I'm the cash cow of this division. If anybody want to fight, they're gonna make the most money fighting me than anybody else. So I feel like I'm the cash cow of this division, and I'm the best of this division.
What do you think of Fundora's style? It's very unique.
I mean, I don't know. He's just tall. He's tall. So like I said, I don't watch him, so I can't really give you sit here and like explain. Like when the time come, I'll watch him. But as of right now, so from this little stuff that I be seeing, it's like he's just a tall pressure fighter. From the stuff that I be seeing.
One of Ennis's biggest strengths is his ability to dictate the pace and then suddenly change it. Sean Porter believes Boots can completely reset after an exchange and immediately return to attacking mode. That ability to change rhythm without giving an opponent time to settle makes him extremely difficult to read, especially for fighters trying to establish their own timing.
With him is getting Boots off rhythm. But Boots he's so quick at being off rhythm and then getting back on rhythm. And what I mean by that is, like, you'll see him reset, right? And like the moment that foot stops, he can be right back into something else. Mm-hmm. I've seen him do that in fights. I've seen him do it in sparring. He did it with me. You know what I mean? I've seen him do that kind of stuff. So this is definitely the tallest of order.
Teddy Atlas believes Fundora has evolved into one of the most unusual problems in the division. His height and reach are obvious advantages, but Atlas points out that Fundora has learned how to use those physical gifts while still maintaining an aggressive style. Rather than simply relying on his size, Fundora can pressure opponents, keep working, and gradually wear them down. That ability to combine length with sustained pressure could become one of his biggest weapons.
I haven't seen too many fighters like Fundora. Right now, I don't think I can think of one that can fight and has learned how. He used to give up his height all the time. That's how he got knocked out by Mendoza. He would always give up his height. He has gotten better at fighting tall, fighting long, and still being aggressive. You know how hard that is to do? To be aggressive when you're tall and you're long and still maintain the advantage of being tall and long. Think about what I just said now, because I know no one out there has pointed this out. Nobody. He fights aggressively. I mean aggressively. That's one of his greatest trademarks, one of his greatest weapons and dimensions. He wears you down.
Max Kellerman has extremely high expectations for Boots Ennis at junior middleweight. He believes Ennis possesses a level of talent that separates him from most of the division and sees very few obstacles capable of preventing him from reaching the top. If Boots continues developing and eventually reaches his full potential, Kellerman believes he has the ability to run through the division and establish himself as the dominant fighter at 154.
But I think he can be. He's got to clean these guys up at 54. There's nothing at 54 that's like, oh my God. That's like, for example, when Shane Mosley moved up to welterweight, Oscar De La Hoya in his prime is standing there. There's no one like that at 54. The only guy who has a chance to be like that is Boots. That's the dude who's supposed to do it. And if you're a super fighter and you're in a division with really good fighters, all divisions have good fighters, but regular good fighters, you're supposed to clean those guys up.
Yeah, because of the talent that he has.
Yeah. And Roy Jones Jr. is also impressed by the way Ennis uses his natural abilities inside the ring. Jones believes Boots is not simply relying on talent. He can recognize when something is not working and make adjustments during the fight. Having several ways to attack gives Ennis the freedom to change his strategy in real time, and that adaptability is one of the qualities that separates elite fighters from everyone else.
Jaron's been a guy that's actually knows what he's doing and knows how to fight. Has talent too, but knows how to use his talent. Therefore, it's nothing to break down. And I think they'll find that out come this next fight.
Does he remind you of yourself at all?
A lot.
How so?
Well, he got so many things he can do. He know how to change things up on the spot. And you can be able to adapt and change up on the spot. That's what you don't find in most fighters nowadays. You don't find guys that this ain't working, they can go do that. If that ain't working, they can go do that. You understand me? That was the one good thing about Bud Crawford. If this don't work, he can change right hand or left hand and try or right hand and try it another way. If this don't work, he can go back another way and try it again. So he had options. Most fighters today don't have options to fight.
Tim Bradley believes Fundora is built for difficult fights because he does not appear intimidated by pressure. Instead of retreating when an opponent brings the heat, Fundora is willing to stand his ground and accept the challenge. Bradley also believes the tall southpaw has matured considerably, becoming more comfortable with his style and more confident in his abilities. That development could make Fundora an even more dangerous opponent than he was earlier in his career.
Heat. Sebastian Fundora don't mind that damn heat. He actually embraces it. Fundora's the type of fighter that come in with his mind already made up. I ain't going nowhere. I'm about to take your best, but can you take mine? He a soldier. He a soldier. Yeah. It's been a minute since he been knocked on his... I'm not gonna lie. Fundora's kind of coming to his own now. Walking around like a man now. Took off them damn Coke bottle glasses. Oh, yeah, he leveled up.
Andre Ward respects the commitment Boots has shown to boxing, but he has identified one area that could become important against elite opposition. Ward believes Ennis possesses the defensive tools necessary to avoid punishment, yet there are moments when he does not fully utilize them and allows clean shots to land. Against an opponent with serious power and accuracy, Ward warns that repeated defensive mistakes could eventually become costly.
You know, he's a gym rat and he lives boxing. He really loves the sport. And you see that when he fights. But the question or concern that I have for Boots is Boots has had his way so much that I don't always see Boots, even though he does have skill defensively, he doesn't always use it. I see Boots sometimes get hit with clean flush shots. And I'll see him get hit in a fight with a repeated shot. And my boxing brain says, you took that shot against this guy. What if you get hit with that same shot against that guy? So those are my initial concerns about the fight for both.
Robert Garcia sees the possible Ennis-Fundora matchup as a complicated stylistic battle. Garcia gives Fundora plenty of credit for the improvements he has made and believes his pressure could create problems for Boots. In particular, a fighter willing to attack the body and keep the pressure constant could test Ennis in ways he has not experienced before. Boots has the speed and movement to make the contest competitive, but Garcia does not expect him to simply overpower Fundora and force him backward.
I think it's tough, man. Fundora it has a style that it's not going to make you look good. I would say I favor Fundora on that one, man. It's a fight that's not going to be easy for Boots because styles make fights, and Fundora lately, since he became champion, he's getting better and better and better. There ain't nothing stopping Fundora right now. I think the only thing that could stop Fundora is a pressure fighter that's not gonna give up and he's gonna keep coming, working the body and just kind of bullying Fundora into a fight, pressuring him into a tough fight. I think that's the style that might hurt Fundora. But Boots could also fight smart. He's a good he's got good footwork too.
Paulie Malignaggi believes Ennis has consistently delivered impressive performances, which explains why expectations surrounding him continue to grow. But with those expectations comes greater responsibility. Boots will have to maintain that standard as the competition becomes tougher. Malignaggi views a fight with Fundora as a serious test for both men, with neither fighter likely to have an easy night.
Every time he's fought, and so that's why he is this budding star. But when you are a budding star, there's also so much expectation for you to look good every single time out. So we'd have to make sure that Ennis stays consistently looking really great so that he can move on into the picture with Fundora possibly. And Fundora, of course, is a very difficult guy to deal with. Listen, Fundora is going to be difficult to deal with for anybody. And so Ennis and Fundora, I really, really would get excited for Ennis and Fundora. That's a really good fight. And for me, that's not an easy fight for either of them. that's a tough fight to call, man. I don't know. I would love to know what some of the comments think at home. And don't be biased about just because one guy you like one guy over the other. I'm talking about seriously, from a boxing perspective. Ennis and Fundora. Listen, Fundora's an awkward fight for anybody because of the height and the power that he's got at that weight. But
Chris Algieri sees Fundora as a puzzle that has become increasingly difficult to solve. The biggest difference, according to Algieri, is how much more intelligently Fundora now uses his natural length. He can establish his jab, control distance, and fight with greater discipline than before. Those adjustments have made him harder to reach and have transformed him into a much more complete and complicated opponent.
He's so long, and he's getting better. He's improving. He's improving. He's learning how to use his size. He's using his jab. He's being more disciplined. He's not taking risks like he used to. Talk about a guy who used to allow people to hit him and then has figured out that you shouldn't do that at the highest level in that Brian Mendoza fight. But since then, he's been very, very good. So, yeah, I can understand why people would see him as the final guy because, again, with those physical advantages and the way that he's getting better, very, very difficult to deal with. Virgil, the inactivity really worries me because you got sharks circling. And Jaron, with the level of talent he has, he can beat anybody on any given night. So, yeah, it's a really...
Bomax views the potential Ennis-Fundora clash as almost impossible to separate on paper. Fundora's extraordinary height and reach give him an advantage that few fighters can replicate, while Boots possesses the talent and skill set needed to challenge virtually anyone in the division, with both men still looking to prove themselves against the very best. Bomax sees the matchup as a genuine toss-up, rather than a fight with an obvious favorite.
But the Boots era, I just think he's a great fighter in the era with other guys that can say, this was my era.
Mm-hmm. You know, with that, I know, like, there's the Fundoras and Virgils, like, they all have to fight each other to even come to that conclusion. I mean, is that amongst those guys, is there someone stand out a little bit more, or is it still kind of 50-50 across?
I think it's a 50-50 across the board, you know, because when you look at Virgil and when he get guys hurt, like maybe Boots was hurt, you know, he finished them off. You look at Fundora with the range and the height he got, you know, even though he'd been beat before, since then he's...
Team Bredman, Edwards believes Ennis has the ability to keep Fundora at the end of his jab and use his speed to control the distance. But he also understands Boots' mentality. Eventually, Edwards expects Ennis to close the gap, exchange punches, and attempt to impose himself physically. He has backed Boots to defeat both Virgil Ortiz Jr. and Fundora, while suggesting that the matchup with Fundora could produce an earlier stoppage because of the styles involved.
Boots will have an advantage with him with being able to jab him. But you know how Boots is. Boots is going to start mixing it up with him at some point and believe that he's the big dog in the fight, which he could be.
Yeah,
but I think he knocks both off. I think he stops both, but I think they're just different kind of fights. I think the Virgil fight goes longer. I think the Fundora fight, with their kind of styles and the way that Boots will have to fight him, I think it's an early night.
Yeah, Gary Russell Jr. sees Fundora as one of the most stylistic challenges available to Boots. Instead of simply controlling the action from range, Ennis could be forced to pursue a much taller opponent while constantly moving his head and protecting himself from long punches. Russell believes Boots would need to combine his offense and defense more carefully than usual, particularly because Fundora can also be effective when the action gets inside.
Fundora. Hands down. Hands down. He would have to punch up, for one. For two, Boots, he really have to go chase his man down. It's always like they either the same height, the styles make it where as though they just like in the center pocket, middle of the ring, and they just going like skill for skill. You know what I mean? With this 7'8" tall guy, he like 7'8". He's not about to stand there. He might, you know, but Boots is really going to have to show a different side of his ability. He's going to have to walk forward. He's going to have to move his head a lot more, not just be defensive discipline, but he's going to have to work in between. He's going to have to be defensive
and offensively equally as good. You know what I mean? He's going to work it together simultaneously, dealing with Fundora. Because a lot of people forget that Fundora, honestly, he liked to fight.
Bearbeen, Langa, is leaning toward Ennis when considering what could ultimately decide this matchup. He points to Boots' ring intelligence and disciplined training background as important advantages. Berlanga also notes that Fundora has been hurt and stopped before, showing that the massive champion is not unbeatable. In his view, Fundora's greatest weapon remains his exceptional height, but that physical advantage does not make him invincible.
But I'm really siding with Jaron, you know what I'm saying? I really truly believe that, you know, his IQ, and he has a great, you know, his father's a great trainer. You know, he's got to stay locked in on that guy. You know, Fundora already got knocked out. You know what I'm saying? He already hit the canvas bad, so, you know, and he got hurt with Lubin, you know what I mean? So it's not like this dude's a robot or he's a creature from out of this world. You know, he's a human being. He bleeds the way we bleed. You know, all he has is just height. And for real, you know, Jaron Ennis just has to get a lot of work, a lot of sparring with Tor.
With both camps continuing to intensify their preparation, the potential showdown is becoming even more intriguing. Boots Ennis is working to sharpen every area of his game, while Fundora is preparing to bring his enormous size, relentless pressure, and improved technique into the ring. Eventually, all the talk, training, predictions, and preparation will lead to one decisive question. When these two finally meet, which fighter will be better prepared when the opening bell rings?